Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite TV shows. And yesterday I did say that I had a bunch of videos planned and I'm going to postpone them until later in July, but there was one video that I forgot that I have to do, and that is of course a TV review of a TV show that I just finished watching like maybe half an hour ago, and that is The Curse. I was supposed to finish it last night, but I ran out of time. So The Curse is a 2023 miniseries written and directed by Nathan Fielder and Benny Safdie. And Nathan Fielder, if you don't know who he is a comedian, but he most oftentimes cosplay as a regular ordinary guy who goes around making reality shows, like Nathan For You and The Rehearsal, which are shows where he tries to, I guess, improve small businesses and help people overcome things with The Rehearsal, things like that. But people don't realize that these reality shows are actually satires of reality shows. They are awkward, funny, incredibly cringy, and intentionally so. This puts Nathan Fielder in the forefront of the world of satire because he's been doing this for many years already, and what he's doing is still extremely boundary pushing and bold. And shitty reality TV still gets made till this day, and Benny Safdie has been making not Benny Safdie, Nathan Fielder has been making fun of them for like a couple decades already. The other of the duo is Benny Safdie, who is one half of the amazing Safdie brothers, who together have made a lot of amazing realist films like Good Time and Uncut Gems. Both films are absolutely fantastic pieces of contemporary American thriller. And so this show, The Curse, is the best of both worlds. Who allowed Nathan Fielder and Benny Safdie cook together? Because, oh my god, they're perfect for each other. This is the perfect combination I never knew I needed until I saw this show. Nathan Fielder on The Curse provides the awkwardness, the blending between reality and fiction, and the satire on media. Benny Safdie provides the long lens and the widescreen aspect ratios, also the naturalistic dialogue, but also real compelling conflicts that take their time to develop, but they're so real that you think that they could happen to you in real life as well. So, also this show features Emma Stone, who gives this has got to be like top 5 Emma Stone performances. This is really, really good. So the show is essentially about a couple, Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone, who plays Asher and Whitney, respectively. They are a married couple, and they're running this reality TV show called Flipthanthropy. Yeah, and it's essentially takes place in New Mexico, where they try to flip this community from being kind of a community that's very impoverished, has a lot of crimes, and clearly a land stolen from indigenous natives, as per like every land in America anyways. They're trying to flip it and make it passive and eco-friendly by building these really weird houses with mirrored walls. And this seems like a really boring plot point, but the show is so much more than that. Saying that The Curse is about a couple trying to do reality TV is basically saying Citizen Kane is about newspapers. Obviously, it's not. It's about marriage, it's about media, it's about fakeness, how fake people are, how greedy people are with money, studios being greedy, and people just lying to each other for their own benefits. And it is absolutely freaking amazing. And this show is not for everyone. This show takes its time to build. It's not a show that immediately clicks with you on the first episode, but as a filmmaker, or as an aspiring filmmaker myself, as someone who films videos online, I just suck this shit up. This is such a great show. about media making and about video making, about people trying to create reality, even though clearly when you create a video or a film or a TV show, it's never going to be real. And it just enters into a lot of amazing discussion on that. But again, that's only one part of the curse. Episode 2 is fantastic. I really love the art gallery scenes where Asher and Whitney go into an art gallery prepared by Kara, who is a Native American woman, and it's just incredibly awkward. I really love the situational awkwardness. It really reminds me of Succession. That's why I really like Succession to begin with. Episode 3 features another ingenious scene where Asher and Whitney, because Asher is incredibly unfunny, cringy, and stiff. And so he's been trying to be funny, so he's forcing himself to be funny and make jokes a lot in this show, but every time he makes a joke, nobody reacts to it. And Nathan Fielder is hilarious, but he's so hilarious that he knows how to be unfunny. And there's this very amazing scene where Asher and Whitney, they were trying on some pants and or some sweater. Oh, I remember what happened. So Whitney was trying to take off a sweater, but she couldn't because it's jammed, and Asher had to help her pull it out. But they were trying to pull it out, and it was really awkward and funny. And then Whitney's character realized that this should be filmed to improve their public reputation, I guess, their publicity. So Whitney tried to recreate that, but suddenly when it's recreated, it's not as magical, and it feels really fake, and it feels frustrating. And not only do I relate to that a lot, there have been a lot of moments, especially given that I'm currently editing a documentary, an unknown documentary that shall not be named. That there's so many moments that happen off camera that I was like, holy shit, I wish I could have caught that on camera. And then sometimes I try to film something hoping that it would be a repeat of that moment, but it never is that. Not only is this scene incredibly ingenious because it says so much about creating media, but also it consolidates Whitney. Whitney is a fake. Everything she does is fake, phony, and fake as fuck. She pretends to be good, she pretends to be nice, she does all these things like, oh my god, that's so crazy. Oh, I wish I was there. I wish I was there. Like, she does all these like pleasantries shit, and she's so incredibly fake. All she cares about is her reputation. Asher is a lost cause. He is too stiff, he's too caught up in his own world that he just fails on all fronts. In trying to be funny, trying to be good, trying to do anything, he just keeps failing. So both Whitney and Asher are insufferable people, but the third insufferable person is played by Benny Safdie, who plays the character of Dougie. Dougie is completely different from the other two. He can be honest, and he is a yes man. He's charismatic, but he's also very gross, very greedy, and is just a bully. And there are some moments where I kind of like him as a character, but near the end of the show, I hate him just as much as the other two. And so the curse is essentially about three insufferable people making each other's lives worse. Episode 4 dabbles more into magical realism, which is something that I absolutely love because we have the titular curse where a little girl cursed Asher, and then Asher goes home and some things happen. But I love how subtle this is because we never know if Asher's just being paranoid or if this curse thing is really real. Oh my god, what's happening? Okay, so somebody was doing an apartment tour. Let's continue. Um, Magical realism. I like how subtle it is because we don't know whether Asher's character is paranoid or if this curse thing is really real. Again, a play between what's real and what's fictional. Episode 5 sees the show getting exponentially better. We have, I think, the opening scene or like the second scene of the episode where um, both Whitney and Asher ask if the sound guy is secretly recording them when they're having a private conversation. Since this point onwards, in the episode and in the rest of the show, every time we see a shot that is from a very long lens, which is almost every single shot, I feel like I'm secretly watching them. I feel like I'm secretly watching these characters. Every single shot feels voyeuristic after that point. And I feel like they're being watched. There's a sense of uneasiness. It's very uncomfortable, and Nathan Fielder is an expert in making people feel uncomfortable. And also, what I love about episode 5 is that it captures the stress of being on a shoot, actors not working out, people sort of hating each other, crew falling apart. It just perfectly captures the stress of being on a shoot. And again, I've been to a couple of toxic film sets, one or two, and I think this kind of captures that feeling. Another great moment, Asher joking with another person, or another person joking with Asher, but the other person is like, "Psych, I'm just joking," or "Am I? Aha, it's actually a joke. I got you. I almost got you." And again, it's moments like this that really make the characters, but also me, very paranoid. Like, what if their very fake personalities are exposed? Or maybe it's just a joke. Or maybe they are exposed and they're in deep trouble. Moments like this make me realize how much of a thin ice these characters are on. One small thing can happen and everyone will just snap. And finally, one thing I love about episode 5 is Kara, the Native American woman, being suddenly really friendly with Dougie, who is this really gross, fake person who is really greedy. And it's just this really weird, unexpected friendship. And Whitney got really upset by it. Whitney actually tried to break them apart multiple times throughout the rest of the show. But it's just moments like this that made me go, wow, I almost feel like I know somebody who acts like this in real life. Episode 7, we have Whitney playing pretend to get Kara. So at this point in the show, characters start to know and be self aware of what they're doing, and they start to sort of master the art of pretending. Whitney starts to open up and soften herself and be vulnerable in front of people, but all that is just a scheme to make herself more likable. And that somehow worked on Kara, and it's so cringy, it's actually amazing. Episode 8 sees something similar with Asher taking notes, secretly recording his own conversation with people, and then taking notes on, like, oh, use softer tones, don't say this, say these words. So Asher could, like, make himself more likable. And there's one scene that felt really, really uncomfortable. But the next scene is even more uncomfortable because of how, like, okay the next scene is. So it is essentially Dougie trying to sabotage Asher by asking Asher very awkward questions during an interview for the show. And any normal person, after being pressed while having cameras pointed at you, would just walk away, curse, swear, and leave. But instead, Asher treated Dougie to dinner and acted really nice and saying things like, oh, you're my only friend, you're my best friend, I trust you. And at this point, I don't know if it's because Asher's an idiot or if it's because Asher's also pretending, trying to make it up to Dougie so that he could get Dougie on his side. But I feel like Asher is not clever enough to do this, and he is indeed an idiot with a humiliation fetish. But at this point in the show, I was basically completely hooked. Now we have episode 9, and holy shit, the ending of episode 9 is, for me, the climax of the entire show. And it is just back to back to back to back uncomfortable scenes where, again, everyone's about to snap. Everyone clearly dislikes each other, and everyone will snap at any given moment. And then we have the ending where it finally snapped, except it didn't. And it's such an ingenious scene because it's all built up. It seems like it doesn't make sense on paper, but both Asher and Whitney's characters are built up slowly to that point, and the way the story just turned out just makes a lot of sense. Also, this is a great analogy on marriage and how Asher and Whitney are just hurting each other while needing each other, and they know it. They're self-aware about this. Finally, we have episode 10, which I finished watching earlier this morning, or like a couple hours ago, not this morning. And this is one of the greatest left turns in TV history since Twin Peaks: The Return. This is insane. I was slightly spoiled that this is going to be a crazy ending that doesn't make any sense, but I was still really shocked because I knew nothing going into the episode. And in the first half, not much really happens, but then the second half happens, and it's just a crazy thing happened. And I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil what happens in this review. You got to watch it yourself if you want to find out. There are a lot of great theories on the internet that draws parallels between Asher and Whitney in the final scene that I really like. But ultimately, this is also a commentary on reality and reality TV. Is that throughout episodes 1 to 9, the show is really, really realistic. There are so many scenes that feel like they're unscripted and they're using, random people, non-actors, pulled from the streets. But then episode 10 happens, and obviously it's not realistic at all. So it's like something really realistic suddenly, violently turning unrealistic, showing and proving that all the 9 previous episodes are not real. They're all scripted. They're all fake. It's such a great commentary on how we perceive reality TV and reality in media in general. So this is masterful. This is amazing. And after watching this show, every single reality TV seem fake now. They all seem extremely fake. All talk shows, all cooking shows, all commercials. Like when I watch a YouTube video and it plays a commercial, I'm like, okay, this is probably another like money grabbing thing. Like this is not genuine. Nothing feels genuine anymore. Watching The Curse, before watching The Curse, I already know that most of the stuff I see in mainstream media is not genuine, but after watching The Curse, it further solidifies the idea that nothing you see is honest. And this show just has that effect on me, and this is just amazing. Both Benny Safdie and Nathan Fielder have such great sensibility to modern day American media, to reality, to how people act, to small human behaviors and interactions that just make this one of the best limited series I've ever seen, period, full stop. I'm giving The Curse a decent 9 out of 10. So have you watched The Curse? Comments below, let me know, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. Go watch this show, please. Go watch it, please.